How the environment affects you. The environment you work in is accountable for 70% of the success of your tasks. It is so much harder to produce good results when working on something in a bad environment rather than in a good one. You can feel it when you're working on something and things are not going your way, and in many cases, it is a poor environment. Always try to avoid noisy and disruptive environments. It is very important that when you're doing things, you also make sure that they will be done in a good environment, helping you to achieve better results. Let's take a look at a different environment. You're going to a birthday party and you say to yourself that you aren't going to drink because you have an important work meeting the next day. But when you get there, your friends talk you into having a drink and it goes from there. What just happened? When you were at home, you were in a different environment from the party where there is a bad influence. And there's a massive difference between these two environments. As human beings, we have emotions and social interdependencies, and if we are weak, we act differently when we are under these influences. Imagine that you're at home and you're getting ready for that birthday party. In your mind, you have things that you have to do today and tomorrow, and it's easy to say that you wouldn't be drinking, because there's no influence towards that decision. But when you get to the party, then it is a different story. There's always going to be that one friend you haven't seen for ages who wants to have a drink with you. And your friends are going to pressure you. Come on, let's have one shot, and that's it. Now the situation and circumstances has changed, and you're in a different mood and you have different priorities. You have a good time with your friends, but when you get up the next day, you wish you had never gone to that party. Within you, there's another environment. These are your feelings. You can walk away from the physical environment and you can avoid people, social environments, but you can't hide from yourself. I think a lot of times this subject isn't discussed when talking about environments, but it has a huge impact on everything you do. If you're not ready within yourself, you'll not be able to produce great results. It will be hard to focus even if you're in a great physical and social environment. Therefore, I consider your inner world as the most important piece of the puzzle as we talk about different environments. Quite often, I hear people saying that the environment shouldn't affect you, and I agree and disagree with this concept. I will use an example to examine the situation in detail and see what is happening. You've just arrived at work. You feel positively charged and are ready for a productive day. Half an hour later, you have an argument with one of your work colleagues from another department who's been responsible for delivery to one of your customers. Your work colleague didn't inform you that some items were missing from delivery. You can't believe it because you had promised that all the goods will be delivered on time. Things are getting worse after you phone the customer to inform him about the situation, because his team has already reported to him about the missing products. The customer quickly expresses his dissatisfaction and adds that because of this mistake, he will not be able to meet his project deadline, ruining credibility for everyone involved. This is a clear example to show that your emotional environment was heavily affected by what was happening, even if you started your day very positively. So from this point of view, I have to say that the environment affects us a lot. On the other hand, I agree that environment shouldn't affect us, because as soon as we let something affect us, we start to use it as an excuse. You have to stay tough when something from outside starts to affect you, and the easiest way to do that is to understand your values and be driven by them. Compare these two things in your mind. A. Do I want to have a drink tonight with my friends and have a hangover tomorrow? B. Do I want to stay at home, spend some time with my spouse, and get up tomorrow morning early, exercise, and work on my project? These are two choices we all often have. Once you've decided, just go for it and don't look back. Don't regret about your choice, because you had a choice and you made the decision. After we have discussed different types of environments and concluded that it is affecting us, it is time to find out the best techniques in terms of how to approach the environment on a daily basis. First, physical environment. The best place where to work is probably the one with the least distraction. It has to be without noise or at least minimum noise. A spare room in your house is a good fit for this situation. Not everyone has a spare room at home, so this won't help them. I personally use the library quite a lot for working. It is an ideal environment because it is a place where people go to learn and study, and you can actually feel that atmosphere as soon as you walk into the library. I know it takes time to get to the library and back, but 1 hour that I spend working in the library is more productive than 2 hours I spend working at home. The point I'm trying to make here is that you have to work in an environment that prevents distractions and increases productivity. Sometimes you have to create an environment for yourself. If I have to work in a room with other people who are making noise or somehow else distracting me, I take my music player, get headphones, turn the music on as loud as necessary to not hear anything else in the room. I create my own world where music is my background and I can focus my mind on tasks I'm working on without distraction from others. Couple of things to mention on the room you're working in. A. Temperature. Good room temperature is beneficial for effective working. If the room is too cold, you'll become very sensitive and easy to distract. But if the room is too warm, it'll make you sleepy and you'll easily lose focus from your tasks. B. Fresh air. Even when temperature is fine, if there is no fresh air circulating in the room, you'll start to feel tired soon and again lose focus. In this case, just open the windows in the room from time to time to let the fresh air in. Or, if it is not possible, have a short walk around the block every couple of hours to refresh yourself. Second, social environment. In this video, we concluded that environment is affecting us quite a lot. And in our example, earlier we learned how other people can affect us. Let's be smart now and turn this effect into our favor. We can do it by surrounding ourselves with people from which we can learn from. We can go to seminars and conferences where the environment enables us to learn and educate ourselves in a particular area. And I can tell you that it works 100% of the time. Once you are in a positive environment, you become positive. It's like when you go to a comedy movie, you can expect to laugh a lot, and usually people get into that mood long before the movie starts. I created a meetup group, and I meet with other like-minded people at least once per month to talk about relevant topics in a particular area. Meetup.com is a great place to find already existing groups, or if you can't find one in your town that fits your needs, then go ahead and create one by yourself. Third, your internal environment. This environment will require a very different approach because you will be dealing with yourself, and that is not an easy task. A. Start the change slowly. I would recommend to work on your internal environment slowly. Don't change everything overnight because you already have your daily routine and habits, and trying to change them overnight will not work out well. You will quickly realize that you are overwhelmed with all these new things at once, and you might end up thinking that change is not good for you, and we don't want that. Do one thing at a time. Do it for a week and see how it goes. If it works fine, then move on to the next one, and so on. Say you're currently watching TV for an hour every evening. Take half that time, still watch TV for 30 minutes, but the other 30 minutes, use to read a book or work on your project. And in a week's time, you will have 3.5 hours of work done on your project. After 1 week, evaluate it and adjust if needed. B. Study yourself. Reading and studying yourself is very useful. You will learn how your mind works, and it will help you to get better at creating the best internal environment for yourself. It is also an interesting process to learn about yourself. Getting to know your feelings better and how to trigger the right ones at the right time. For instance, if I want to be more productive when I want to work on my project, I have to go to the library because I know myself. One thing is physically going to the library, but the other is taking that conscious choice of doing it, and this operation is taking place in your mind. C. Meditate. By meditating, you will clear your mind from reactive thoughts and be more able to see your true values. By closing your eyes and just relaxing, you will regain your focus back on the most important things you want to do. So let's recap the main message from this video that we looked at today. Number 1, understand your environments. Be conscious about them. Number 2, be aware that environment affects you. Use it in your favor. Number 3, work on it. That's the only way to change for better. Knowing these things will help you to make better choices on an everyday basis and eventually help you to live a better life. If you have any questions about areas of life where you're struggling or want to make improvements, please tell me in the comments below or write to me at Facebook or Twitter, and I'll make a video about how best to approach it.